Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at SUI, double checking a few key factors. We're kind of in this closer range to this heavy liquidation down below, and the one above is much further away. So again, keep in mind, these are just based on liquidation levels. It doesn't guarantee the price is going to go to that level, but it does help us understand where the market makers are going to move next, because a lot of times those areas will be swept and then the price action reverses itself. So general rule of thumb here is maybe consider some limit orders in the upper $3 range, and that way you get filled. I'm not talking about a high leverage long. I'm simply referring to like a spot bag or a super low leverage position that you're going to watch closely. Okay, do not take longs of this coin here without paying attention to it, because it's absolutely on the way down, and every time it tries to come up to even retest the descending trend line, it doesn't even come close. Okay, so this coin is belly flopping very hard, and there's a lot of reasons why that's happening from a macros perspective, or more importantly, from a technical analysis perspective. I don't know specifically a lot about the fundamentals, if there are any, providing this here, but I can tell you this coin's been overextended for a while, and I've covered it pretty much daily since since its inception. And for a lot of, for lack of a better term, this coin usually recovers really well. It hasn't been doing that lately, and there's a reason. We want to be mindful and not just be blindly taking longs with this coin. Adding to your spot bag, adding to your position on the way down makes sense. But at this point, a leveraged long makes zero sense, because there's nothing telling us to take a long. Anyways, I'm spitballing from the bird's eye view. We're obviously going to take a closer look and see, but for the most part, that's what's going on. Quick congrats to our community here for some awesome profits on our Bitcoin and Chainlink trades here recently. We've had to adjust a lot of our long positions to calibrate our take profit targets after averaging in. The market's been giving us some pretty bad hands. And the same way I understand it is just that trading with confirmation can be difficult, because every time there's a confirming factor, Bitcoin has a bad day, and then everything just gets reset again. But the problem is too, a lot of times folks are shorting at what feels like the top, and the price keeps going higher. So it's a difficult market. So don't feel alone if you're struggling a little bit. Even I'm having difficulty this month. It's probably my worst month I've had in like 6-7 months. And again, I'm usually due for about two, maybe 3 bad months throughout the year. And those are bad months that are just like less profit. They're not even in the red, but still, just know it's tough, okay? Anyways, that's the whole point of me telling you that. So we take a look here at liquidation in the last 7 days. We can see, of course, a lot of late longs are about to have a bad day at the $4. So if you got a liquidation event at $4, I wouldn't say I feel sorry for you, but it's just not really the right move, okay? And again, it's simple to say now, of course, but pretty much every day this week I've talked about bearish divergence and not to take a long into this kind of momentum. And it's important to recognize that we want to trust the TA, even if it doesn't always work out. Most of the time it will, okay? And at this point, a lot of reasons why we're seeing this lower level here getting hit. I would not expect just to bounce. Keep in mind, $4 even is a solid round number. A lot of key levels, supports and resistance are built off that. And SUI, basically, being in the $5 or less range, we got a lot of key level support set $2, $3, $4, etc. Anyways, liquidation pretty heavy here. $4 is probably the next target. We take a look here from a macro perspective. Every one of these red bars is $600 million worth of liquidation. Okay, so we're talking a lot of longs here that for some reason haven't secured profits yet on their position. Well, probably because they're in the red now, are essentially subject to liquidation here soon. Keep in mind, these are stop losses too, so it's not always exact, but for the most part, we can recognize there's a lot of potential issues here if the price comes under $4. I welcome it, because I like to add to my spot bags when prices come down. Like, I got in kind of heavy on Solana and the 180, 190 range. Feel good about that. Bitcoin at 90K. It's not exact science. You never truly know, but averaging in your position into a spot position is always a good recommendation, at least with coins you feel you want to invest in long term. I got in lucky at that $3.50 candle wick on SUI, and I'll probably get in back again at the $3.50 to $4 mark, because it just seems very likely we're going to see somewhere in the upper $3 range. Okay. Anyways, liquidation delta, this hasn't changed much at all, but it's getting kind of heavy. A lot of shorts in the market right now for SUI, which makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you short into a divergence like this that has tons of liquidation just below the price action, and it's showing no strength whatsoever? Lagging span here, we'll look at that here in a minute. Sorry, that's a different sidebar. When we take a look here at open interest, we can recognize that 460, 470 are those key levels here. So imagine being long at 460, 470. You might actually be one, honestly. And that's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not no shade, no fault on you. It's just that these are typically, these are actually breakout traders here. If you take a look there, they bought in here heavy, held onto their position, and look at there, still in the red, deep red. So again, the whole point of me showing this is because open interest tells us a lot about where people are averaged the most, okay? And if they're averaged at 460 to 470, that implies we're going to see a lot of resistance there because that exit liquidity is going to occur when it comes there, okay? So people are going to try to get out of their positions in the green, even though they're probably getting eaten up on fees right now because they're high leverage trades. Or even medium leverage. In fact, if those are high leverage, they're probably stopped out by now. But the truth is, don't be a late long. That's all there is to it, okay? More importantly, don't be a breakout trader. They're very unsuccessful. You'll find some trades that work out. I've done breakout trades myself too. In fact, we had a couple this month that worked out, one that didn't. It's kind of a gamble, right? That's why you always want to wait for confirmation, which is what I teach. Secondary to that, 430, and of course, tertiary, I guess, would be 450. So pretty easy numbers, 430, 450, 460, 470. These are all safe round numbers to remember, okay? So daily time frame, let's take a quick look. Recognize, again, I mentioned this previously, but ever since we've broken below 455 to 475, that's that resistance range, we can see pretty clear as day that that 50-day SMA is hanging out right there, along with the 20 coming down. So you don't take longs into that until we break above at least one or the other, okay? Both moving averages is kind of a rule of thumb. If you're going to take a long into it, you better watch the dang thing close, okay? Otherwise, just why not be patient and wait for confirmation? It's not that hard. Again, I know a lot of folks struggle with that, and that's because they're typically emotionally driven by coins, and they're probably watching some idiot online. I could even be that idiot too, by the way, that essentially is telling you to take a trade when you shouldn't, right? Just so you know, I'm never going to recommend taking a trade unless there's a lot of confirmation, and even still, I'd much rather you be patient and wait for better opportunities, okay? It doesn't always happen. The market's not perfect, but the key takeaway here is we're under 50 on the RSI. Stochastic swinging down for the second time carries more weight than the first. Money flow index is low. There's literally nothing here that is telling you that you should take a long position. Okay, so it's truly abysmal price action. Now, we do take a look here just to recognize, if we look at daily candlestick closures, we're getting close to a support. And that's roughly the $4.05 to $4 range. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 days in a row, you saw the price action bottom out here at 405. So hypothetically, we're going to see some support here soon. But I think, just again, based on my experience and looking at liquidation every day for years, this amount of liquidation is going to incentivize the price to go lower. I don't think we're going to see a ton of support at 405. But I'm just throwing it out there. That is an area to consider. Adding to your spot bag if you want. I'd much rather wait for like the 395 to lower to mid $3 range. So 350, 375, 395, those are areas I'm considering. Okay, so taking a look here at the 4 hour, we're under all moving averages. Check number one, do not take a trade. We're under 50 on the RSI. Stochastic's trying to swing up, money flow index is low. You will oftentimes find a pivot here off of money flow index being at about 30 or 20. So we could see a slight relief rally here soon, but I wouldn't expect much. Honestly, this coin is very, very much underperforming. It's pretty obvious that market makers are selling their profitable bags because they probably have bags all the way down as low as $150 to $2, okay? So please recognize that they're making a killing off you. Every time the price goes up, they're just going to keep selling, okay? Okay, so there's no reason to take a long position here on the 4 hour. What about the hourly? Is there any confirmation? Well, only confirmation we have is a significantly bearish divergence. Now, I don't like to try to short into a bottom like this, but this is a bit of a pattern you want to be aware of. It's considered to be a bearish triangle pattern. And again, you don't trade patterns unless everything else is confirming, but what do you know it is, right? So this pattern, in conjunction with a lot of other price action here in the market, is letting us know that we're probably going to continue lower. And again, the reason why is because we're establishing lower highs and basically parallel lows, right? This is telling us that the bulls are running out of steam. Every time we come down here, it starts to flatline, okay? Oftentimes you see the price break down because of that. So I would expect nothing less than 395 in the relative near future. Okay, just based on what we see here so far. So again, that's just what the charts are telling us. You know, what does your heart tell you? Truth is, it doesn't matter, right? Because your emotions mean nothing in trading. So don't let it control you. Control what you can, which is how you respond to the trades and, of course, going into it. Proper risk tolerance, proper risk management. Don't be an emotional idiot. Really simple as that. If you want to become a better trader, consider joining up cryptocash.tech. If nothing else, join our public group here in our Discord so you can kind of understand a little bit more about being a better trader. I mean, it's not all about the signals that I provide. Those don't necessarily do anyone any good if they don't have good risk management, right? So please recognize that it's important to just figure out what works best for you, right? I recommend no less than 5%, or sorry, no more than 5% of your total portfolio per trade. And then of course, no more than 5x leverage on alts. I know it seems crazy. Wow, this guy's recommending I don't make any money at all. Well, that's kind of true until you get your training wheels off, which a lot of people takes years to develop. I can tell you it's not worth losing your entire savings on. Okay. All right. Anyways, sidebar. Sorry, I'm full of those. A lack of better terms. Looking forward to work with you if you want to become a better trader. Join on up. If not, that's cool too. Keep learning what you can from the videos. I'll post a playout chart here shortly on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. It looks a little something like this. FYI, Solana looks a lot better than SUI. So if you're considering any kind of trades, I might recommend that one instead. Also AVAX as well. We're in the green on a pretty nice little trade here. Okay. So again, congrats to our committee there for that. I'll cover those here shortly. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.